ओम श्री हरिम परमानंदम उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्. On Wednesday last, we read from Shloka 1 up to Shloka 28 in the Aporokshanbhuti of Sri Shankaracharya. And there were three clear parts. The first was that by Swavarnashrama Dharmena and Tapasa, the Lord becomes pleased and then he endows us with the sadhana chatushtaya necessary for spiritual life. And then the sadhana chatushtaya was described, starting from Vairagya, Vivek, Samadhi Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutva. And then it was said in the 10th shloka that one, when is endowed with this sadhana, which includes having heard Vedanta from the Guru and the Shastras, and having made some concept of it, and having a deep love for God, you may say, by always putting the mind in God. With this qualification, one should think. Without these qualifications, thinking is useless. And with these qualifications, what should he think, or what should be his discriminative thinking? For that, four subjects were proposed. Who am I? How this world was born? Who is the Karta? And what is this material cause? And then the reply was given that what I am, I do not know exactly, but I am not this matter combination which is the body, nor I am the instruments which I am using, like eyes, ears, and etc. I am somebody completely of a different nature than these. This is the discriminative thinking. And how the world has come into existence? Due to our wrong knowledge. The world does not exist. The meaning is that the world does not exist at all. It is our wrong knowledge that making the world. And then, who is the Karta? Sankalpa. Our idea, our thought, or thought of the Lord. That is the Karta. Because of that, this world has come into existence. We have seen with examples these things, and the upadan, the material of the world is Brahman itself. The name Brahman is not given, but one without a second, subtlest of the subtle, Sat, the ultimately real. This name is used for Brahman only. Avyam, unchanging, undiminishing, as example is given the meaning of upadan karan. As clay is the upadan karan of a jar. In the same way, we understood world is made of Brahman. World is made of the material called Brahman. Why the world is made? Because of the thought. How it has come into existence? Because of our wrong knowledge. But with all that, one should never forget that the material of the world is Brahman himself. We may wrongly think many times. You see, I will tell you, Vedanta thinking has been vitiated by two different streams. One is the Sankhya type of deviation, another is the Buddha type of deviation. And we sometimes feel we have superimposed. It is illusion. It is not real, all right. But the material of this non-real world is Brahman. We should never forget it. And this is called the immanence. The example is given just like from clay the jar is made. So the jar is all the time clay. The name and form may be different. Name, form and action, later on Vedanta will tell us. But it is clay only. So we think that world has come out of Brahman or Maya or world is Brahman. If we know it really, and then the thinking of Aham is revised in this light. And that is, I am not different from Brahman. How? I am also one without a second. I am the subtle, I am the knower, I am the witness, that is unchanging knower. I am Sat, I am aware, I am that. I have no doubt about it. That is the discriminative thinking. Then the wrong identification with the body has to be made clear, otherwise we cannot proceed. So from Shloka 17 we saw Atman means my real nature. I tell you again and again, sometimes this word Atman hurts me. When we say Atman, we think something inside me. Some people think Atman is like a granite stove. It cannot be burned, etc. So my real nature, that is called Atman. So I am really without parts. I am one without a second. Well, the body has many parts and is covered by many parts. How can I be one with the body? Those who see identification with the body and Atman, what more ignorance or wrong knowledge can be there? Atman, my real nature, is the controller and inner. Body is outside and controlled. How they can be same? Those who think them to be same, what more ignorance or wrong knowledge can be there? My real nature is of the nature of consciousness and holy. The body is made of flesh and is dirty. That is how the discriminative knowledge from Vairagya started. Body may be beautiful from outside. That is only the figure. Inside the body is dirty always. And how we say that they are one? What more ignorance or wrong knowledge can be there? Atma is Prakashaka, revealer. My real nature reveals the world to me, and it is always pure. Well, the body is made of tamo, inertia is the main quality of the body. How this can be one? Those who see them to be one, what more ignorance or wrong knowledge can be there? Atman, my real nature, is nitya, unchangingly constant, and always of the nature of reality. Body is anitya, never steady, becomes destroyed later on, and is made of, in my Guru's words, internal nihilism, asanmaya, made of inside nothingness, body. And if we think they are same, what more? Ignorance or wrong knowledge can be there? No. What is the nature of light that is Atman? It is not a physical light. So Atman's revealing nature is that it reveals all the objects to me. It is not the physical light like the Agni, because the Agni light is limited. When Agni is not there, it becomes dark. We cannot always burn Agni to see things. There are other sources of light, but the light of consciousness, even if I do not know a thing, I know that I do not know. I know that I cannot perceive. I know that I perceive. So this knowledge is absolutely constant, and this is the light of knowledge. So it is not a physical light, which sometimes shines, sometimes does not. Even when the physical light does not shine, I know that it is not shining. Even in the deepest sleep, I know that I am, and I am happy. That also I know in the deep sleep, because that is the memory which we get in the daytime. If there was no knowledge, there would not have been any memory. So I am the light of consciousness, while the physical light is a secondary light. Now, another way of thinking, body is mine. I think that my body. How it can become I body? My table, my pen, my body. The example given here is I am seeing a jar. It may be my jar. I cannot be the jar. Now this depends upon our being able to objectify our body. When we are able to objectify our body, then only I can say this is my body. Otherwise it is only language. If my finger is hurt, I say I am hurt. So unless we are able to objectify this, yes, finger is hurt. And we see this in the experiences of great people. I quote here from Mahapurush Maharaj's life that in the old age, the body was suffering from many diseases, and especially asthma, because of which he could not sleep. So some devotee came to see him. After he heard that last 3-4 nights, Mahaprabhuji has not been able to sleep. So he came and asked Maharaj, how are you? He said, fine, grand. Then he was surprised. Maharaj, I heard that you did not sleep. Then, as if coming down from the first floor to the ground floor, Mahaprabhuji said, oh, you are talking about the body. Now body, there are 6 vikaras in the body. It is born, it stays, it grows, it decays, it ends. Now it is going toward the last vikar. But by Thakur's grace, I know I am not the body, and so I am fine. So this is very clearly seen in these people. All the talk about Vedanta has to be seen in the great people. Then only we understand it to some extent. So, how? One more point, it struck me today. If I say any little hard word about somebody, people are very much annoyed with me. And Mahapurushas, Gita, Shankaracharya is constantly calling Muda, fool, does not understand. We do not blame them. Why this poor man, if he says one word of apparently improper language, is condemned? And we read Shankaracharya, we read Bhagavan's Gita, and constantly they say Muda, 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 fool. Anyway, so this fool, she says, my body becomes I body for them, just like jar being felt as I jar. So this is wrong. Then what remains? Now the word Brahman has come for the first time. I am that Brahman. What is the meaning of the word Brahman? All pervading reality, transcendent, immanent reality. That is the very literal meaning of the word Brahman. So I am the reality. Sama, I am same in all the objects. Important thing. Not only I am not the body, I am the consciousness, I am all pervading, I am equal in all bodies. Nobody can disturb me, Shanta. And I am of the nature of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss is that my very characteristics. I am not this body. This body is unreal. This is called knowledge by the wise people. Wise people call this as knowledge when one experiences that, not talks, experiences that I am Brahman, I am same in all, I am Shanta, my characteristics are existence, knowledge and bliss. I am not this body which is unreal. That is how the wise people call this is right knowledge. I am Nirvikar, no modification in me, Nirakar, formless, Niravadyo, blemishless, Avyaya, unchanging. I am not this body which is unreal. This is called knowledge by the right knowledge, opposite to ajna, right knowledge by the wise people. Niramayo nirabhaso nirvikalpohamatata naham deho yasad rupo jnanamechyutasya budai. I have no disease. I am free from diseases. I am free from any illusive experience. There is no alternate to me. I am one without a second, and I am extended throughout the world. This knowledge is the right knowledge as told by the wise people. I am not without qualities. Huh? I am beyond the Trigunas. I am Trigunatit, and there is no work in me. There is no change in me. There is no doership in me. I am unchangingly eternal. I am unchangingly free, always free. I do not change in my real nature. I am not this body which is unreal. This is called by the wise people as the right knowledge. I am without any impurity. I am fixed. I am infinite. I am pure. I have no old age. I have no death. Again, I will quote Mahapuruji because I know that. Whenever he was asked, once he was asked, how old are you, Maharaj? He said, infinite. I am not this body which is unreal. This is by the wise people called right knowledge. This is up to 28. Now we proceed in the same way. 29. Swadehe shobhanam santam purushakyam cha sammatam kim murkha shunyam atmanam deha atitam karoshibho. Up till now he was using the word mood, one who is under delusion. Now he is asking fool. Swadehe, in your body, in your own body, Shobhanam Santam, beautifully staying in your body. The name is Purusha. Purusha means Purnatvat and all pervading, staying in the body but full in himself. That is its name. And that is what is established by the Shastras and the Guru that you are like that. Sammatam. Oh fool. Oh, this is an important point. Huh? Your real nature is beyond the body does not mean it is zero. That is the point here. Now we are fools. We are trying to understand we are not the body. When we come to this point, we do not feel we are Brahman, we feel we are nobody. We are zeros. And some people believe that our real nature is zero. Who is talking this zero? Is he zero? Who is knowing this zero? Is he zero? So, Shankar calls his fool. What fool? Important thing, body beyond the body. Does not mean zero. Beyond the body does not mean zero. Body is asat, does not mean I am zero. And if you think that you are zero, you are a fool. So, oh fool, how do you think that I am zero? You are zero. You are beyond the body. And beautifully you are staying in the body. Beautifully means without being touched by the body, without being affected by the body. Your real nature is in the body, but never affected by the body. This is called beautifully staying. And why it is like that? It is beyond the body. And you think you are zero? Are you not a fool? Again, in the 30th sloka, he uses the same word, murkha. You see why he is using these words? He is not bent upon abusing people. He is showing it is wrong, totally wrong. We have to come out of it. That is the only purpose. Whenever we say so and so is wrong, our meaning is that we should not become like that. That is the only meaning. So, he is not interested in only abusing people. He has said in Vedanta, if you find somebody is being abused, it is not for the sake of abuse, but to show the truth which is opposite to that. This is Shankara said. So, he says, oh fool, you should listen to what you are really. That is misfortune. What I am really have to listen from Shastras. The rishis who see, they only know what they are and what we are. And we must listen to them. Otherwise, our ideas are our ideas. Our ideas are products of our mind. However great intellectuals we may be, it is a product of our mind, our idea, which is in Maya. Only those who have gone beyond Maya, those who see things as they are there, and from them we must listen. And then, Shrutya Yuktya Cha Purusham. In the beginning, we discussed Pramana Mimamsa, epistemology. And in that, we saw that all the Pramanas which we use to know this world, direct or indirect, Pratyaksha or Anuman, Upman, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, and verbal testimony of the world cannot reach the reality. All they are of the type, I am knowing something, subject-object knowledge. If there is a reality, it is beyond subject and object, and so they can never reach it. So how to know what is the means? Only Shruti Vakyas. The men who have realized, when they tell us about the nature of Atman, that only is the means by which we can know Atman. Now, what happens? Our old thinking is there. Our thinking, which is based upon ignorance, is there for how many centuries, how many yugas, how many kalpas we do not know. And so, sometimes we are not able to understand what they say. We have to reflect that on our understanding. Manana means reflection. We don't have to force our thinking on what we have heard. How it can be? I think like that. Throw your thinking away. Revise your thinking in the light of what they are telling. And try to understand what they are telling as clearly as you can. In this respect, I'll tell you one more thing. Intellectually, as we call it, making an idea of Brahman, as we call it, can never be of exact nature of Brahman. Never, never, never. It can be somewhat approximate. It can be like that. Swami Vivekananda has written a song in Bengali on Samadhi. He said, the world first became shadows to me. And all these shadows vanished into one current. Am iti anoktan. I. And then he says, this current also stopped. Where did this I go? I'm telling Bengali, I will translate it. Am iti anoktan. সে ধারাবদ্ধ হলো শূন্যে শূন্যে মালাই. It was never there. This I was zero. My real nature is never zero. This I was zero. So it went into zero. Then what remained? Avang manasa gocharam. Cannot be talked of, cannot be thought of. Then how can we know it? Boje, pran boje ja. While singing, sometimes we say boje pran boje ja. Boje pran boje ja. Pran boje means one who realizes. Pran in Bengali always stands for heart. Pran boje jar means one who realizes. Boje means he understands. Who understands? Only who has realized. Intellectual idea can never be equivalent to what Brahman really is. Please remember this always. So, Swamiji has said, Boje, Pran Boje Jar. Who understands? One who has realized. Till then it is all approximations. Till then it is some ideas. And so, we get much better ideas from Mahapurusha's experiences than our poor intellect. So if you have intelligence, you have to use to understand what the rishis are telling. Secondary means. So all these six pramanas except Shruti Vakya have gone away, not useful. A new series is born. And that is called, please write down those who are interested, Shruti Yukti Anubhuti. Shruti Yukti Anubhuti. A new series of pramanas is born. Shruti means what the Mahapurushas say. Yukti includes all the indirect pramanas. Anuman, Upman and everything, all logical process, all intellectual process is used only to know it exactly as much as we can. To revise our old thinking and feeling and to understand what the rishis are telling, this is the place of Yukti. Brahman can never be understood by Yukti independently. We have to try to understand what exactly the Rishi is telling. And in that light, we have to revise all our thinking, feeling, everything. This is called Yukti. And then final Praman, when we experience that, that is the final Praman. So Shruti Yukti Anubhuti becomes the real series of Pramanas for knowing Brahman. All the previous Pramanas are thrown away. So, he says, listen to the Shrutis and apply your reason as much as you can. Shrutya Yuktya Cha Purusham. Purusham. Our real nature is called Purusham. The perfect one, the all-pervading one, has to be heard of and thought of, means try to exactly understand what they are telling and revise our thinking. Both these come under Yukti. And then experience, that is not talking here because that is the theme of the book. To come to that Aparukshanubhuti, you must first listen to what the Shastras say, throw away all your so-called independent reason, and then listen, revise your thinking, and what you listen from them? Dehatitam, beyond this body, Sat Akaram, of the form of reality, Sududarsham, important thing. We cannot see him by our eyes. We cannot feel him by our mind. We cannot really catch him so long as this eye consciousness persists. So it is called Sudurdarsham, difficult to be seen, very difficult to be seen. Now, very difficult to be seen does not mean cannot be seen, but the process is by giving up our normal instruments of knowledge. Don't use your eye, don't use your brain, don't use even finally, don't use your eye consciousness also. Simply experience generated by the Rishi Vakyas, I repeatedly told by listening by heart. And revise your thinking, and then you will come to right understanding. So Sudur Darsham Bhavadrishi. This is also abuse. Know that people like you, for them very difficult to see. People like you means all of us. So the shloka is Swatmanam, about your own real nature, which is Purusham, which is like the all-pervading perfect Brahman. O fool, listen that from the Shrutis, then apply the reason to understand it correctly and to revise your thinking. And you will hear that it is beyond body, it is of the shape of, form of reality, and otherwise very difficult to be seen by people like you. Then 31. Aham shabdena vikyata ek eva sthita para स्थूलस्तु अनेकतां प्राप्ता katham syat deha kapaman. Again he has turned everything. Deha ka. Deha he was telling. Now he is telling deha ka. Ka is used to make something small. That is negligible or tuchha as we say. Very little in value. For that ka is used. So Devaka means this fellow body, like that. Now, aham, I. How Brahman is known? Brahman is saying I in me, in you, in everybody. Brahman is saying I. But not connected with this body. Not connected with this body. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, one funny thing is told. Brahma first said I. And all of us say I. Suppose you knock at the door and somebody asks from within, who are you? You do not tell your name. You say, I am so and so. So this I is borrowed from Brahma. So and so is our particular case. So he says, it is known as I, not this flippant I. But he is telling, he is known, well known as I. Actually, it is one. Actually, it is beyond everything. Eka eva sita para. Paraha, beyond. Eka eva, one without a second. So my eye and your eye is not different. Your eye is always different. So not this eye. But he, one without a second, in me he says I, in you he says I, in him, her, he, she, it says I. So we know him by our telling I, the reality of this I. Then, and we see many. What is many? The gross bodies. Stula here does not mean fat. Stula means the gross. Opposite to Sukshma. Stula, stulastu anekatam prapta. Stulastu means this body, which is gross, is many. He is not many. In everybody, he says I. These bodies are many. Katham Syat Devaka Puman. Puman means the real nature. How that Puman, Purusha, the real nature, can be this hopeless body. Body is many, he is one. This is the meaning of this shloka is, he is one, though he is known as I, but bodies are many. How he can be these bodies? How he can be the I said by the body? He is known through our utterance of I, but he cannot be this body. The real nature cannot be this body. Aham drashtutaya siddho deho drishyataya sthitah mamayamiti nirdeshat katham syad deha ka puman. Puman means always refers to our real nature. Now that I is always seeing. My body is something seen. I see this body. Again, this depends upon our ability to objectify the body. So body is something seen. Always something seen. Drishyataya sthita. Aham drashtutaya siddho. If you understand, you will find that it is proved that, it is established that I am this here. How? Mama ayam iti nirdeshat. Because I say body is mine. This single sentence is being used. I may feel I am the body, but I do feel body is mine. When I say body is mine, then I am the seer, body is seen. How can I be this hopeless body? Aham vikarahin astu deho nityam vikaravan iti pratiyate sakshat katham syaddeha gappuman. Our common understanding, Shankar is challenging now. Pratiyate, do we not feel I am unchanging? Vikarahin, unchanging, unmodified. I am always I, that you don't feel. And body, don't you feel? Nitya is used for vikaravan here. Not constant, constantly changing. I used to joke. His job is permanently temporary, not permanent. So, Nityam Vikarava. We see body changing every moment, and about ourselves we feel I am not changing. Always we feel like that. How can I be this body? So all this is development in the sadhaka mind. A developed sadhaka only can feel like this, that I am something which is unchanging. Body changing every moment, so I can be the body. Yasmat paramiti shrutya taya purusha lakshanam vinirnitam vimudena katham syaddeha ka puman. Here one word is very peculiarly used by Acharya. Vimuda. Muda means deluded. Ordinary Sanskrit, Vimuda means very deluded. Here Vimuda means one is not deluded. Whose mudata has gone away is called Vimuda. A person who is not deluded is called Vimuda here. Now, depending upon what Shruti says, Shruti has told that the Lakshana of the Purusha, the characteristics of the Purusha is always beyond. Shrutya Purusha Lakshanam Paramiti Yasmat. Shruti has always told that the Purusha's characteristics are beyond. Viniranitam Vimudena. And a wise man who is not Muda, or the Shruti is not Muda, it has decided upon this. It has concluded upon this. It has given a final judgment that the Purusha is always beyond. how it can be this hopeless body? Now, the thinking has been raised to the next level. And that is why it is not body he was telling. Now the body has become tuchya and I am becoming great. By Shruti's direction. Up till now, I had not used the word Shruti. He was using our own common sense reason to show that we are not the body. Now, he said that what is our real nature can be known only through the Shrutis and proper understanding of the Shrutis. So now he is using the Shrutis to show. Shruti means Vedas. Shruti means the words revealed, words of those who know, who are to whom the real nature is revealed, that is called Shruti. So, Shruti, when it has, without being deluded, it has finally concluded that the characteristics of Purusha, the reality, is beyond. So, how it can be this hopeless body? Sarvam Purusha eveti sukte Purusha samnite api uchyate yata shrutya katham syat deha ka puman. Remember, some people think Acharya only talks of Nirguna Brahma. That is not true. In the Rig Veda, also in Yajurveda, there is a Sukta. Sukta means, generally Sukta is in praise of God or revelation of the Rishi. There is a Sukta called Purusha Sukta, a hymn dedicated to the reality which is called Purusha. That is called Purusha Sukta. And in that Purusha Sukta, what it is told? Sarvam Purusha Eveti. That Purusha, that reality of mind is everything in this world. That reality of mind is everything in this world. Sarvayapi, everything I am. This is what Purusha Sukta is telling me. Api Uchyate. Api means other Shrutis he was referring to, now is referring to Purusha Sukta. So even the Purusha Sukta has told, I am everything. How can I be this body, which is limited and small? When I am everything, how can I be this body which is small and limited? So, Purusha Sukta also tells that the Purusha Sangite Sukte, the Sukta which name is Purusha, Purusha Sukta. Eva iti, Sarvam Purusha Eva iti. It tells me that everything is the Purusha. Purusha is used two times. Purusha means my reality. Name of the Sukta is Purusha Sukta. So the Purusha Sukta is telling me that my reality, even that is telling that it is all. Shrutya. So Purusha Sukta also is a Shruti. So the Sukta which is a Shruti, which is Purusha Sukta, or you may take like this, that when the Shrutis have told, same thing Purusha Sukta has told. Api Uchyate. That this Purusha is everything. How it can be this hopeless body? Asanga. So all this is now he has told, revise our thinking in the light given by the Shrutis. That is Yukti. Yukti does not mean independent thought. Yukti means to understand what the Yukti tells and in that light revise our thinking. So, by our common sense logic, he has found I am not the body. And now, basing upon the Shrutis, he is again re-emphasizing that thing. What the Shruti say? Asanga Purusha Prokto Murudharanya Kepicha Ananta Mala Sanslishta Katham Syadya Kapuman. He is telling Shrutis one by one. He has taken Purusha Sukta, now it goes to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Even in Brihadaranyaka, Apicha, What they tell about the Purusha, about the real nature of man? Asanga. Unattached is not the only meaning, untouched by anything. Untouched by anything. Pure. Unattached. These are all meanings of asanga. So Brihadaranyaka also has told Purusha is asanga proktam is told. Now this body, ananta mala sanslishta, body is, he had told body is dirty. Now it tells body is sanslishta. Opposite to asanga, sanslishta means attached to, joined with infinite dirts. Body which is united with, joined with, attached to infinite dirt. How? When the Brihadaranyaka has told that Purusha is absolutely asanga, how it can be this body? तत्रैव च समाख्यातः स्वयं ज्योतिर्हि पुरुषः जड़ परप्रकाश्योऽयं कथं स्यात् देह का अपमान. Previous arguments are repeated, but not as common sense arguments, but by what the Shrutis are telling, which are much higher authority, which are the only authority. Tatraiva cha, in the Brihadaranyaka itself, Samakhyata rightly told, Purusha is Swayam Jyoti. Self-luminous is the reality. And body is Jada. Body is to be lighted by the Atman. Body does not see anything. We see body in the light of sunlight or tube light. Actually, in the light of Atman, it is otherwise Jada, material. How the Swayam Jyoti Atman, as told by the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, can be this dirty, hopeless body? Now, in the Shruti, that means in the Vedas, up till now he has talked of Upanishads, the Vedanta. Purusha Sukta, though not counted as Vedanta, is also Vedanta. But the major part of Vedas are Karma Kanda. So for Karma Kanda, again, he says, look at Karma Kanda even. Though it does not talk of the highest truth, yet always it talks of the transcendental self. Proktopi karma kandena hi atma dehad vilakshana nityasya tat phalam bhunte deha patadanantaram. What karma kanda is based upon? If I do good karmas in this life, I will reap the result in the next life. Now, if Atman is the body, where is the next life? So the karma kanda has told that Atman is of a different nature than the body. Karma kanda in api prokto. Even the karma kanda, though it does not talk of the real nature of Atman, tells us that it is different, of a different nature than the body. Because it is constant, so it reaps the fruit. Nityasya tat phalam bhunte. That means the Atman reaps the fruits in the next life. Deha pata dhanantaram. After the body falls down, the Atman reaps the fruit. That is the karma kanda. So even the karma kanda, though it does not talk of the real nature of the Atman, if you believe in the Vedas, you have to believe in the Vedas. And so even the karma kanda tells us that Atman is different than the body, because when the body falls down, then the Atman reaps the fruits and goes to Swarga or whatever fruit it has to get. Now, up till now, body was talked of. And this body is, he has already told, gross body. Now, there are some people who are little evolved and they might not think I am the body. What they think? I am the mind. which lives in this body. Now, mind has its own associates. My Jnanendriyas, they are not in the body. And body is the location where the Jnanendriyas work. Not brain centers. Brain centers is the mechanism used by my Indriyas. Indriyas are always subtler. And Karmendriyas, 5 forms of energy to digest the food, for the blood circulation, for breathing. So all this together is this subtler body living in this gross body. And the name of this subtler body is Linga. Why and how? What is the meaning of Linga? Chinna, symbol. What is my symbol? Not election symbol. Huh? How am I known? By my mind. Very gross people will say is height and beautiful and all that. People will judge you by your mind. And so mind and its associates, the Sukshma Sharira is called Linga Sharira. You understand? This is not mere technicality. Man is known by his character. And this character is not in the body. The character is in the mind. Character is in the subtler things within the body. And so, this is called Linga. Understood? Linga Sharira means the Sharir by which we know a person is called Linga Sharir. Now, those who do not think I am body, they are little high, little advanced, and they say I am the mind or I am the Linga Sharir. Now, Acharya is examining that idea. Lingam cha aneka sanyuktam chalam drishyam vikari cha avyapakam asadrupam tat katham syat pumanayam. I am Puman, this man, how he can be the Linga Sharir? Linga cha aneka sanyuktam. It is a combination of many things. Just now I told you. Mind and Dhanendriyas and Karmendriyas and the Pranavrittis. Mind again is made of 5 subtle elements. So it is a combination of many things. Chalam, and the mind changes. Mind changes so much. Morning we are elated, evening we are weeping. So mind is chala. Drishyam. This again is an advanced sadhaka mind. Those who can objectify their mind. The mind also is a seen object. Mind is not self-luminous. Though the Western world used to call mind as the bright body. Brightness only because it is nearer to Atman, its light first comes on the mind and then goes to the body. But it is Drishyam. Advanced people, even we, the more calm is our mind, the more inner is our perception. If we can tranquilize our mind, if we can make the mind repelless, we can see mind. So mind is Drishya. Vikari. Chalam has already told. Vikari means gets modified. Avyapakam. My mind is not your mind. As my body is not your body, myself is yourself. So, my mind is not your mind. Avyapakam. Asadrupam. Finally, that is also made of unreality. Mind is also as unreal as the body. How can I be that mind? So, he is now making us slowly go to realize aparoksha anubhuti of ourselves. And so, having shown that we are not body, now is raising ourselves to see that we are not the mind. Very difficult for ordinary people, for advanced people even. But we should be able to objectify our mind. This is not an intellectual process. This is a process of evolution of consciousness. And we should be able to objectify our mind. You say, I am happy. No, my mind is happy. My mind is miserable. This we should. In Bengali, they talk like this. Mon bhalo nahi amar. You are feeling you are bhalo nahi. But if we are really able to objectify the mind, then we can see that we are not the mind. Evam dehadvayadanya atma purusha ishvaraha sarvatma sarvarupascha sarvatitoham avyaya. So dehadvaya, the gross body and the subtle body, both are bodies. Atma is Purusha. Atma is Ishwar. Atma is perfect. Atma is all-pervading. Atma is the ruler, Ishwar. Atma is different from both these two bodies. Atma is the Atma of all. Atma is having all forms. Sarvarup. What is the nature of Atma? Everything is. But Sarvatita is everything, is beyond everything. Atman is all-pervading. Atman is transcendent over everything. Sarvatita, Sarvayapi is the nature of Atman, which is different from both these two bodies. Avyaya, unchanging. Aham, Aham, which is Atman, is Purusha, Ishvara, different from the two bodies, self of all, in the form of all, beyond all, unchanging. This is what I am. Now, enough for the day. 41 is the turning point, I will tell you only this one. From 41, the thinking completely changes. I am not this, I am not this. In between it, he has said that they are made of unreality. But it is becoming like the Sankhya, and we do not want to end like that. All this should not end in telling, I am real and Prakriti is real, I am separate from Prakriti. Far from it is Vedanta. And so, the turning point will be in Sutra 41, 42, etc. That we shall take up next Wednesday. In between, I could have requested, but I could have requested Tamal to show the link which Advaita Ashram has sent. Even though if he has, if you can show, otherwise people have known it now. I have sent it to everybody. I did not tell you beforehand, is all right. Not necessary. I have already announced that on this Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, I am going to talk of Sri Shankaracharya, his life and teachings, same time, our time, 5:30 to 6:30, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday we come back to our Aparokshanubhuti. Om Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyam Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.